Well, everybody, Buffalo Bills just finished playing at the Baltimore Ravens, and we are going to discuss it. Won't be fun, but it'll be something. Here we go. Well, everybody, I am Izzy, and this is the Built-in Buffalo post-game show, the Redzone Report live, right here on Built-in Buffalo YouTube, Facebook, and X, formerly known as Twitter, the artist formerly known as Twitter. And we are here to discuss the Week 4 Bills at Ravens. Our Buffalo Bills got their shit pushed in, guys. This episode is not going to be one where I sugarcoat anything, and I'm going to be as real as I can with it. Bills had a chance in this game, guys. We had a chance in this game. It looked bleak after the first half, being down 21 to 3, and then we come out, we stop them. We then go right down the field. We score a touchdown, and Then it got off the rails. It got off the rails real quick, and it was unnecessary. And my man Lance, President Built in Buffalo, Lance Nelson, we all know and love him. It's an incredibly unnecessary trick play attempt. Really thwarted the comeback bid there. They'll build character from this one. Go Bills, brother. Go Bills, brother. You know what's up. Miss Sandra says, "Good morning, Izzy. I guess you are somewhere where it's morning. If not, then you are just tired." But it's okay, Sandra. It's still 11:30, so it's not morning yet. But it is what it is. See, a loss is not bad, but this was horrific. Look, this was a beatdown. We got our asses kicked tonight, and it is what it is. I wore the wrong shirt. I wore the Choose Love shirt. We should have chose violence, but they chose violence, and we were out there hugging. And it is what it is. W. Ravens, Bernard Burns. I'm guessing that's a Ravens fan, or, it is what it is. See, I'm not super upset about the loss. That trick play is really, but yeah, I agree. See, Henry kills the Bills every time. Not really. I mean, this is his first 100-yard game against us in a long time. We usually hold him down. He does usually score against us, though, so I'll give you that. I'll concede the points, and then the yards, though. 199 yards for him today. That's tough to stomach, but it is what it is. See, where are the Bills fans talking trash about Lamar? He still sucks. He had a good game. Good for him. He still sucks. Stick around. Is this where they finally say we got exposed for not having no receiver? No, I don't think so. I don't think having a number one receiver had anything to do with this game. Shakir had a solid game. Looking at his numbers, 4 catches on 5 targets, so his first time not catching a target. 62 yards. Probably would have been a better game if not for that bonehead play. He might have gone over 100, maybe over 80. Probably over 80, I'd say. But it is what it is. It's cool. We were going to lose sometime this year. We were going to lose sometime this year, and I would rather lose to a quality team like the Ravens than the Cardinals or the Dolphins. I'll throw shade at the Dolphins all day, every day. But quality team beat us. They beat the brakes off of us tonight. So it is what it is. It's okay. See, it's cool. 3-1. They will regroup and get it together. It wasn't their night. Still going to win the division. Yeah, I mean, yeah. I'm just glad Josh Allen wasn't hurt, after that Van Noy. I thought that his hand might have been hurt, but it happens, Let's see. 2-time MVP, by the way. I don't care. That last MVP was nonsense. The first one was legit, though. The 36 touchdowns, 6 interceptions, 6 touchdowns per interception. I can't argue that one. But the second MVP, that was some BS. He had like 5 quarterbacks that had better numbers than that year. It was only because he was 29 touchdowns, and then he had they were 14-2 or 13-4. Something. They had the best record in the AFC, so good on him. But the second one was nonsense. Like Dak, Josh, Mahomes, like 2 other dudes had better numbers than him. He had 29 touchdowns total. Josh had 29 passing touchdowns and 15 more rushing. So, what is Josh Allen? Better than Lamar? Not tonight, but usually. Anyways, we'll go ahead and continue. Josh Allen was under duress the entire day. They blitzed the hell out of Josh Allen today. And the blitzes got there. They blitzed corners. They blitzed safeties. They blitzed everybody. The blitzes came, and defensive linemen were dropping into coverage, and they used whatever they could to confuse Josh Allen, and it worked. They confused the hell out of Josh Allen. They confused the hell out of me. And usually I'm pretty good at spotting what the hell's going on. Nope. They came in with a game plan on defense, and they executed that game plan on defense very well. They did a very good job of executing their defensive game plan. The second half looked like it was going to take a turn, and that's usually what happens to the Ravens this year. They fall apart in the second half. But Joe Brady getting cute out here, knowing that they're blitzing, and Josh Allen being on the sideline. You got a non-quarterback back there, so the ball's not being thrown. It's an obvious chance to blitz and then get the Bills behind the sticks or, behind the line of scrimmage, right? And why? Why? Why would they do that? I don't know why. It was nonsense. It is what it is. But you know what? You take this one, you learn from it, you deal with it. It's okay. Lamar Jackson had a solid day, 13 of 18, 156. Woo, big numbers for the Lamar guys in the comments. 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. He had a solid day on the ground, too, 6 for 54, 1 rushing touchdown. Lamar went off. He had 210 yards today, total. Derrick Henry was really the catalyst that beat us. Lamar, it's okay. It is what it is. Bills fans got one side of beef for Lamar. I don't think we do. I know a lot of Bills fans that happen to love Lamar and don't agree with me. But you can hold that for what it is. I'm not sad about it at all. He's all right. I mean, he's not a bad quarterback. He's just not great. Boo-hoo. See, I thought Allen played well. They need Bernard or Milano back. Look, even if we just had Bernard out there, I think the score would have been closer. But with running bonehead plays like that on offense, like we were progressing the ball just fine, right? We were progressing the ball just fine after half to not need to get cute, right? As Joey Hatch says, their freaking gimmick play killed us. It did, right? The gimmick play murdered the Buffalo Bills for that. Like, the defense did not play the same after that. They saw Josh. They thought he was hurt, maybe. I thought he was hurt. I thought he hurt his hand when Van Noy, swiped that ball out of there. The defense came out. They didn't look the same the rest of the game. They looked dejected. They were like, oh, damn. Like, he's out. We're done. Granted, he wasn't out, and we weren't done. But by that time, the mental damage was done, and they were just out of it. And it is what it is. It happens. Sometimes you got to deal with it. So this game was what it was. Next week we see the Houston Texans. We go to Houston. Then we go to the Jets. And I'm not impressed with the Jets, and I'm also not impressed with the Texans. Yeah, we'll deal with whatever comes our way. We still have Josh Allen. We still have, very solid defense. We just saw shake and bake. We literally saw Will Ferrell in Talladega Nights with his shake and bake partner out there, and they shaked and they baked us all game. And it looked like that was going to stop, but it didn't. So, yeah. Got out coached today. In the first half, we absolutely did get out coached. In the second half, we got outmanned. Right? The first half, we just didn't know what to do with what they were giving us, right? Like they that run to Derrick Henry, the first play that they ran, we were not in position to stop that run at all. They were in position to make that happen, and there was nothing we could do about it at all. Period. 87 yards, he takes it all the way to the house. We were completely out of position on that play. It's not out coached, like it's one play. It just so happened to be that first play that they ran was a play that we just couldn't stop with the position we were in. Granted, we've been saying, a lot of us Bills fans and beat reporters and, analysts, and fan pages, that we might need to run three linebackers. Well, I think we learned today that Nicholas Moreau is not one of those guys. He's not one of those guys. Not a fan of Nicholas Moreau after this game. He was bad last year, and he doesn't look good this year. So we'll leave it at that. We'll leave it at that. Nicholas Moreau just, yeah. Bass needs to be replaced. Check it out. I understand the hate for Bass. I understand people, aren't happy with Bass, but that field goal wasn't saving the game, bro. It wasn't saving the game. It just wasn't. The game was over at that point. It was done. Damage was done, and they were just going to run it down our throats the rest of the game. And it is what it is. It is what it is. See, Cole Bishop looked ready to take over for DeMar Hamlin, in my opinion. He didn't play for DeMar Hamlin. He played for Taylor Rapp. Taylor Rapp got hurt. Hamlin was still in there. Taylor Rapp, made that tackle on Derrick Henry, but he ate all that knee right to the freaking jawline. Like his helmet came up, and he was just, and it was done. It was done. But man, I hope he's okay. Right? You don't like to see anybody go down like that. Concussions are a problem, and Taylor Rapp took that knee to the head, and no one wants to see that. Let's see. See, Cam needs to be let go. Cam Lewis? Because, if you expected him to tackle Derrick Henry, you're out of your mind. That's crazy. Not let go. They need to get another linebacker, or they have one, and they just didn't put him on the field, and Joe Andreessen, who can read the defense or read the offense and then move towards that player. He may not be taxing Derrick Henry, but at least slow him the hell down. Nicholas Morrow was nowhere near that. But if you think that Cam Lewis is going to stop him, you out of your mind. There's no chance. There's no chance. Like, he's going to have to, get him in the backfield before he gets a full head of steam. Other than that, no. Keep telling yourself that. Keep telling myself what? I don't know what you're talking about. You have to, tell me what I'm telling myself. Because I'm talking to y'all, not me. Anyways. Why does McDermott play so damn conservative against good teams? See, this is a narrative I don't get. He does it sometimes. He does it against, the Ravens because of that we saw today, which I agree he shouldn't. But against the Chiefs, he's plenty aggressive. Against, other good teams, he's plenty aggressive. It's just, for some reason today, he didn't. As Ben Jansen said, played way too passive tonight. Yeah, we did. We played way too passive tonight. We needed to do something about it, and we didn't. Let's see. I thought when Allen took that big hit, I thought he was seriously hurt on that fluke play they ran. Yeah, I thought so too. I thought he was hurt. I thought his hand was done. I was hoping and praying that it wasn't a Joe Burrow thing. Like, remember Joe Burrow hurt his wrist last year? He was out for the year. I was just like, oh God, please no. Like that's our season right there. And then when I saw him throwing again, I was like, okay, all right, that's fine. But yeah, let's see. Excuses. That's what. Okay. Well, if you want to be clear, that's your problem, not mine. See, did anybody see Sean McDermott standing on the sidelines in the first half, looking like a deer in the headlights? That is not a look you want your coach to have. I noticed him looking, I guess, kind of like that. I thought that he was just more confused by their game planning. See, F. Smoot knee to the head, totally undisciplined. I agree. I didn't like that at all. I thought that was dirty. It was 15 yards. It was unnecessary. It gave them more new life, and we can't have that. We can't have that. Two Hill's been playing fine, and I don't remember seeing Smoot again after that. I could be wrong, but that was unnecessary, right? You don't do that. That's a dirty play, and that's not supposed to be how we play. So it is what it is. Standing. You think even McDermott knew that play was coming? No. Nope. Because if he knew it was coming, he would have called timeout. He wouldn't let that happen. He would have been like, "Oh no, I see what's about to happen." No, he would have called timeout. If he's conservative, he's going to be conservative around the clock, right? He wasn't there. See, and I hate to say it, but if Josh got hurt, the season's over. Yeah, we all know that. Look, if Josh gets hurt, it's over, right? If Josh gets hurt tonight, we win 2-3 more games tops. It's a wrap. It's a wrap. Unless they go out and get a freaking Tyler Huntley like quarterback who can run around and then maybe find somebody. But you don't. There's not. You don't. There aren't elite quarterbacks just swimming around out there. You're not going to find one. They don't exist, right? There's Mahomes. There's Josh. There's Burrow when he's on, like today he was on. Then there's that rookie in Washington. How am I forgetting his name? He's been excellent the last couple weeks, man. He's been on fire. Freaking, I'm about to look him up. So don't you guys have to put him in the comments. He played at LSU. I'm terrible with names, guys. So forgive me. I'm not trying to be rude there. Where is the Commanders game? Jaden Daniels. There we go. 26 of 30, 233 and a touchdown. He ran 2 more in. Jaden Daniels was outstanding today. Right? He was outstanding last week. And the Commanders, legit, low-key scary. Legit low-key scary. So, yeah, if Josh Allen goes down, we are donezo, my friends. Donezo. It's a wrap. Those guys aren't just hanging around. Let's see. Positive tonight, going back to Coleman after that drop was huge. Yeah, he went back to him a couple times, and he made those catches. And they were contested catches. So, yeah. Definitely want to see a bounce back against Texans. You and me both, brother. We got out coached. Yeah, kind of. In some spots we did, and in some spots, again, I'll say we got outmanned. Like their guys at points that really mattered wanted it more than we did. There's no way around that. When it appeared that Josh got hurt, it appeared that they quit on the game. On the next drive, the defense seemed dejected. And why is Mitch our backup? He is horrible. Well, because you're not going to replace Josh Allen. So why would you spend the money on a backup if they're not going to be able to do what Josh does? If Joe Burrow was on this team as a backup, it's still over. I'm sorry. If Joe Burrow is the backup on this team, it's still over. Joe Burrow wasn't doing anything until they got Higgins and Chase. He just wasn't. And he's still barely doing anything now. It's a problem, right? Joe Burrow, very, very good quarterback. Borderline elite, in my opinion. Do I think he is elite? Not really. I don't see him making players around him better. I don't see it happening. And so, that being said, doesn't matter who our backup is. So you can't just target him once per game. He's got to get more. Yeah. Let's see. They're texting to get Joe Mixon back next week. We'll see how it goes. Joe Mixon isn't Derrick Henry. Two different beasts. He's good and he's powerful, but he's not Derrick Henry good. He's not Derrick Henry powerful. Like Dorian was out there laying hits on Joe Mixon after that play happened, obviously, right? Because during that play, no one hit him. Dorian Williams is a good tackler, and he bit on that touchdown, and that's why they scored it. You guys know exactly what play I'm talking about. Guy blew right by him because he bit on it in the move. I think it was not J.K. Dobbins. It's their backup running back, Hill. Got right around him, and he bit on that. Dorian had a solid game, but that play, yeah. See, Bobby needs to figure out this defense. Ain't no reason to have our safety 17 yards off and linebackers not filling the middle. They're running 89% inside tackles. Yeah. Yeah, that's going to be something to talk about this coming week because the Texans are going to go run heavy on us after this game. See, how do the Ravens lose? They match up against teams that can stop the run. That's how they lose. Not just stop the run, but stop a guy like Derrick Henry. Like when they played Dallas, they didn't lose, but they got Micah Parsons and they got, Lawrence. They got guys who can stop the run against Derrick Henry. They got big dudes who hit hard, who play on the edges, who keep him inside, and then their defensive tackles clean up on them inside. We don't have that type of defense. We don't run a 3-4, first of all. I'm not even sure Dallas does. If I'm thinking about it correctly. I don't know if they run a 3-4 anymore. But they have, Parsons, who's a freak, and then DeMarcus Lawrence, who's a monster. Those guys can beat the run up, and then on the inside, they got guys who are just good at that, man. It is what it is. We're not built like those guys. So we line up fine with the Texans, we'll be fine, y'all. I agree. Like I thought we would match up better with the Ravens than we did. Right? I had us winning this game, kind of similar fashion. I had it 38-20 Bills. I was wrong, totally wrong. So. When I'm wrong, I'll say I'm wrong. I was very, very, very wrong. I thought we were going to win by 18. We lost by 25, baby. That Patrick Ricard touchdown was some nonsense. That was some nonsense. But it's okay. It happens. Broken plays happen. It is what it is. See, I don't know the name of number 43 for the Ravens. Justice Hill, I think is his name. Justice Hill. I don't know if he ran all over us. I don't know if that's the correct way to look at that. Let me go ahead and pull up the numbers there. He had a solid day. Don't get me wrong. But ran all over us. Derrick Henry definitely ran all over us with 199 yards. Justice Hill had 4 for 18, 4.5 per carry. Yeah, he had a good day. He had a good day. His longest run was 11 yards. Derrick Henry had the longest yard of 87, and then he poured on another 112 yards on us. Yeah, that's running all over us. Kyle Hamilton's a stud. He sure is, man. They beat the shit out of us. Golly. All right, so let's go ahead and look at these numbers, right? Josh Allen, 16-29, 180, no touchdowns, no interceptions. So still no interceptions on the year, but he didn't add any touchdowns. Passer rating of 73.9, which is not good. James Cook, 9 carries, 39 yards, 4.3 per carry. Not a bad game. Josh Allen, 5 carries, 21 yards, 4.2. Not a bad rushing game. But we only had 81 yards of rushing on 23 carries, so 3.5 overall. We only had 155 yards passing when you include the negative plays. Team total, 155 yards passing, 81 yards rushing. That's 236 yards of total offense, and Derrick Henry by himself had more than that. It's ridiculous. Well, excuse me, Derrick Henry didn't. They ran for more than that. They ran for more than what we passed for what we did total. So it is what it is, man. We got to deal with what we got to deal with. We lost today. It sucks. It sucks. But going down the line still, Shakir, 4 catches, 62 yards, 5 targets, so 1 target on the season where he hasn't caught the ball. Still pretty high percentage. He had gone 30 consecutive targets without a missed catch. Like he caught everything. And then that one play, when Humphrey got hurt in that play, I think he came back in the game, but still. Keon Coleman, 3 for 51. Dalton Kincaid, 5 for 47. James Cook, 1 for 9. And the rest is kind of minuscule from there. Tackles, Dorian Williams. Again, he had a good game. He just had that one play where Hill got past him. And it is Justice Hill. He faked like he was going inside, and then he cut outside. Dorian Williams bit on the fake, and he was just beat. He was just beat. And it is what it is. The Ravens set the blueprint on how to beat us. No, they did not. They did not. Not everybody has Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry. And not everybody has the fastest rushing quarterback in the NFL and then the biggest steamroller in the history. Well, not the history, but top 5 steamrolling running backs in the history of the NFL. I mean, you look at the history of the NFL, you look at Jim Brown, you look at Earl Campbell, you look at Emmitt Smith, you look at Walter Payton, and then probably Derrick Henry. Those are the 5 guys really that are steamrollers that, like, if you meet them head to head, it's a problem. Like, you're not, especially if they have a head of steam, like if they've got 10 yards of momentum, all right, have fun. Yeah, that's a problem. Not everybody has that, right? They just don't. Right? Like the Texans aren't doing what the Ravens just did to us. It's not happening. They don't have Derrick Henry and Lamar Jackson. They got Mixon. They don't have, defensively. No, I wouldn't say that either. The Ravens are the number 1 rushing defense in the NFL, and they showed it tonight. They stopped our run game. I get what you're saying. Like, it's kind of a move where you worry about it, but it's not that simple. That's too simple a way of thinking about it, right? Like they have Kyle Hamilton, Roquan Smith, Matabuke, Odafe Owe. They are star-studded on the defense, and usually they fall apart in the second half, and they didn't today. They almost did though, until that stupid ass play. Golly, Joe Brady, come on now. Oh, you save that one for when you're playing bums. You don't do that shit against the Ravens when you're down freaking 2 scores, 3 scores. It was what, 21-10? That's 2 scores. You're down. Oh my God. That play was just the dumbest play call. I'm not going to say we beat ourselves because they definitely beat the hell out of us. Right? But on that play, we beat the hell out of ourselves. So the Ravens got better wide receivers than the Texans. They do have better wide receivers than the Texans, but our corners are pretty damn good. They just look bad tonight because the front 7 had to focus on Derrick Henry. When your guy gets 87-yard touchdown run on the first play, you better pay attention because he's going to do it again. And he almost did do it again. He almost did. He almost did it twice. It's not the same thing. It's not. It's just they beat us tonight. They beat us tonight. They came out there. They had a solid ass plan. They punched us in the mouth, and then when we put our own foot in our own mouth, they decided to kick that foot a little deeper down our throat, and we choked on it, and it was horrible. It was horrible. What else do you say? Well, at this point, that is the expectations. Isn't that yours as a fan? What's my expectations? I gotta know what you mean by that. I like that you're commenting, but you gotta give me more specifics. Like what are my expectations? My expectations are that the Bills bounce back. Not, I don't know what you're talking about. I'm not sure what you mean because I said a lot there. So you got to kind of give me something. See, I wouldn't even say they stopped our run. We just had to play from behind too much. That's partially true, right? But we started running the ball in the second half, right? So, like before that goofy ass trick play. Fair enough. I got you. Okay. So, yeah, before we ran that goofy ass trick play, we were only down 2 scores. You know what I'm saying? So, we had the time and ability to run the ball, and we were running the ball. James Cook had like 4 rushes where he had like 8 yards. 3 or 4 rushes where he had like 8 yards. And they took him off the field. Like, no, that's the hot hand. Leave him on the field. And they take him off the field and run that stupid ass play again. Oh, geez, that stupid ass play is going to be the one thing I keep coming back to. And it's insane. It's insane. It's insane. This is a classic trap game for Buffalo. Everyone talking Super Bowl potential hype and the Bills actually believing in it. Little focus on a talented Ravens team and more so celebratory brain rot. Very well could be. That very well could be the case. You know, the Buffalo Bills, they could have been drinking the Kool-Aid a little bit, thinking that they were better than they were, but that's not the point. See, I'm not worried about the regular season. It's the playoffs where we get exposed. No, we definitely got exposed a little bit today, but we get because we could see the Ravens in the playoffs. If we see the Ravens in the playoffs, then what? Granted, we might not see the Ravens in the playoffs. They got to see the Steelers twice. That defense is no joke, and they stop the run just fine, and they're good at stopping rushing quarterbacks just fine. They get plenty of practice with one in their own practices against Justin Fields all the time. So they have somebody who can actually play Lamar in practice, right? So they got to get through them, and they're going to get to the Bengals. The Bengals are god-awful so far. We'll see what happens if they bounce back. They tend to, but they don't have the same exact weaponry they always had. They don't have Joe Mixon anymore. They don't have Tyler Boyd anymore. They don't have who their tight end was. But, yeah, they got Chase and they got Higgins, and that's it. They got Yoshivas. I like Yoshivas, but, you know, I wanted him to be on the Bills. I thought he would be a nice piece, but it is what it is. So yeah, we just lost. We lost. Just move on to next week. Hey man, that's the plan, right? Look, doing these post game shows is not fun when you lose, right? But you got to do it, right? Win, lose or tie, Buffalo Bills until I die. I'm gonna be here. This is not gonna be a long show. Like, I'm probably gonna be on this for 10 minutes more tops. This is not fun at all. Having to explain away the nonsense that we watched tonight because it was bullshit. It's just one game. It is. It's just one game. I expect us to lose this year. I didn't expect 17-0 and then go into the playoffs and then, smoke Mahomes in the playoffs. We beat them 42-10 and then, no. Every week's not going to be like last week where we win 47-10. We went out there. We beat the brakes off the Jaguars. The Jaguars suck. They're 0-4. We did what we were supposed to do against a horrible team. And then we went out there with our nose up in the air, smelling our own air, avoiding the farts, and well, when you have your chin up high, you tend to get knocked out. And we got knocked the hell out tonight. We got knocked out. Derrick Henry with that first run. Yeah. See, first lost by more than 6 in a long time. We just got smacked in the mouth. Better to get it out now. Yeah, I'm with you there. With you there. Buffalo Bills, they had no business losing in that fashion. Losing the game would have been fine. If it was 24-20, if it was a closer game, like 35-10, if it was 17-10, I could live with that. Nah, we didn't get smacked in the mouth. We got kicked in the fucking face. Okay, I don't know who here's into UFC. If you are, look up Anderson Silva versus Vitor Belfort, and that's what happened to us tonight. That's what happened to us tonight. We got Anderson Silva to Vitor Belfort tonight. Even if you're not into UFC, go on YouTube after this. Type in Anderson Silva versus Vitor Belfort. Vitor Belfort. Belfort. Anderson Silva, pretty easy. Don't need to spell that one for you. Anderson, just like in English. Silva, Sivala, versus Vitor Belfort. Didn't see it coming, but it happened. That's exactly what it was. So we are lucky we play in a weak division. We are absolutely positively lucky to be playing in a weak division right now because the Jets look horrible. They didn't score a touchdown today. That's the only solace I get. Like the Patriots got mud stomped. The Jets lost by 1 to the Broncos in the Meadowlands. Like I'm not that worried about the Jets anymore. Why our coach looks lost every time a good team hits us in the mouth, we don't hit them back. That's not true. Like we come back and win some of these games. But when he's not sure what he's gonna do to beat them, yeah, he does get that look. So if we can agree to that, I agree. So you think we should have drafted Worthy instead of Coleman? No. Because I don't think we're in the position to use Worthy. Not just that. Right? But we don't run that type of offense. We just don't run the type of offense that allows the freedom of a Worthy to run downfield like that. Like Josh would need time. You know, he has time, but like then it becomes obvious because you don't have the supporting cast around. Like he's got Rashee Rice over there. He's got Travis Kelce. We got Shakir and we got freaking Kincaid who are good, but they're not Rashee Rice and, you know, freaking Travis Kelce. They're not the same thing. You know, like they're not the same thing. We've got guys who are good, but those guys, they're Rashee Rice is a true number one. Shakir, we're hoping he breaks that ceiling, becomes a true number one. Right now, I'd say he's a true number two. Like if you put him on another team, he could be a number two receiver somewhere. Like if let's say he ended up on the Raiders, like him and Devontae Adams would be nasty together. Like that would be sick. Him and CeeDee Lamb would be sick together. Like that. He's a solid two right now. We're all hoping that he becomes a number one, but no. Josh needs a big target that can catch the freaking ball. We've tried the small guy who can run real fast enough in this scheme. And while this scheme is somewhat different under Joe Brady, conceptually it's very similar to what we ran before, but it's not run in the same fashion. Right? Like we don't run things in the same order. We run a lot more motion now. We run a lot more look over here. We're doing this over here though. Like I don't think Worthy would be used properly in this offense. That's just where I stand with Worthy. He's been doing okay, but let's see what happens now that Rashee Rice is probably out for the year. And now that he's going to get the number one wide receiver attention, let's see what happens. We'll see. See, more will come if they don't come prepared. That's true. Yeah. On a positive note, glad to see you back as he missed your last couple post games. Hey man, check it out. Like if it's a Sunday, I'm gonna be on the post game. If it's on a Thursday, I probably won't be. On a Monday, that's Kulu's day. You know, like he wants his day, so we gotta, I'd love to be on with him. You know, one of these days. If Akeem can't be on there, I'll be on there with him. But Thursday nights is a no for me because I got meetings on Fridays. I got to drive an hour away to Raleigh, North Carolina, where I'm home based at, and then I got to drive back down here towards the Fayetteville area and work. And it's just not conducive for me to be up, in the wee hours of the morning to then try and go to work at 3 or 4 hours of sleep. It's not going to happen. It's a big for me. So I appreciate you being here, though. Yeah, absolutely. And today is Sunday, right? And this is my 3-day weekend, so I'm off tomorrow. So I can be on here as long as I really wanted to, but I don't intend to be on that long. So do you trust Bass in a big game? I don't know. Depends on the kick. It really depends on the kick. As of right now, I'm noticing something. I don't trust Bash from the right hash. Like he seems to be more of a left hash kind of guy. That right hash is not his friend. It's not his friend. He's missed 2 kicks this year. One was past 50 and one was 48. So I'm less worried than most people, but I understand. I really do. I understand. Let's take a sip of this Pepsi. So Dawkins is looking like an all-pro. I see him dropping. I'm not sure what you mean by that, but other than the all-pro part, he might be an all-pro this year. It's going to be tough, though. There's a lot of good tackles in the league right now. A lot of them have been playing pretty well, but he's been playing exceptional football. Him and Spencer Brown both been playing very good. See, Bass has lost his confidence due to the missed field goal last season and all the backlash from the fans. Maybe. I mean, if I'm him, I don't even look at the fan stuff. Don't watch my show, Bass. Don't listen to the people in the comments. Just, go out there, practice your kicks, do your thing, and get right. That's it. You can't focus on the fans at that point. If you focus on the fans and it demoralizes you, then you have to stop. You have to go your own way. Let's see. Do the Bills try to grab a Higgins or an Adams, even if it's just for this season? No. The Bills are punting at receiver on the season. They're not punting on the season, but they're punting at receiver on the season. They also may be looking in the draft to get another receiver. That way you have Coleman, Shakir, and then another guy. You have Coleman on a rookie contract. You have another guy, and then you have Shakir, who then you give a contract like you gave to Curtis Samuel, because Curtis Samuel might be gone after this year. If this continues the way he's playing and the way that they're using him, could be a wrap. Rumors at Christian Kirk is on the trade block. If he's on the block, I'd go get him. Christian Kirk's not a bad wide receiver. He's not a wide receiver one, but if you go trade for him, you are not responsible for any of his guarantees. The previous team pays for those. Playoffs is what I care about. Can this team advance to the Super Bowl? We have taken that step have we taken that step? It is way too early to tell, JP. It's way, way, way too early to tell. It's week 4. Like now, if we were 1-3, I'd be like, hell no. We're 3-1. We just got smacked in the mouth. I have no idea. Like, I'm not gonna lie to you. I think we could make the Super Bowl, but do I think that we're on that trajectory? We got to pump the brakes on that. See, I missed the production that Cole Beasley gave us in 3rd and short. Shakir's doing that just fine. I miss having a good route runner who was fast like John Brown. I miss a John Brown. John Brown was not just a speed demon. He could run routes. And he could do it on the outside. And he was shifty enough to get past people. Was he great? No. Was he damn good? He was. He was damn good. I miss a John Brown. Give me something like that. I was hoping that Curtis Samuel could be something like that. I knew he wasn't really a downfield guy. I don't know why. He's a 4-3-3 guy, but Jesus, a John Brown would be nice right now. John Brown would be great. Give me some of that. Give me some old school freaking sluggo down the field John Brown. Yeah, I'll tell you what. We look at receivers. Let me look at the Bills receivers, right? Tonight, Shakir looked good and Coleman looked good. Curtis Samuel looked, all right. Mac Hollins. And Marquez Valdez-Scantling, I am still unimpressed with Marquez Valdez-Scantling. Just because he can't catch. That's the only reason why. Like, if he could catch and if he could actually run routes, then yeah. He's got all that speed to not be able to run routes and to drop the ball a lot. If you throw the ball to MVS in double coverage, he's hardly ever catching the ball. Right? Shakir catches the ball sometimes in triple coverage. That his rookie year against the Steelers, and Josh lofted up. He went up and got it. I don't see the benefit to MVS. He's a speedster, but like he's like an old school 90s Ford Mustang 4.6 liter, and you drop a supercharger in it, like straight line. Like, it's fine. But you try and get that thing turning, it's just not pretty, like, at all. It's horrible. It starts spinning out, it's not good. It's not good at all. And so I wasn't a fan when we brought him in. I wasn't a fan of the contract that he got coming in, and I'm not a fan of the production I've seen thus far. I would say it's a disappointment, but to say it's a disappointment means I had expectations of him, and I didn't. So we'll say that. So I know we're doing better without Diggs, but we do need an elite wide receiver, man. Diggs left us to go be a wide receiver 3 in Houston. We sent him there, man. We sent him there. And honestly, he's number 3 in Houston. I don't know if he'd really be an improvement on his team. Right? I'm lying. He'd be an improvement on his team. But with his attitude, I don't think he would be. He'd be a detriment. We can't have that. We can't have detrimental players on his team. We can't have guys who are about themselves, really. I like Diggs. It's one of my favorite players of the last 4 years, but you know, it is what it is. Like, I think he'd be an improvement over like some of the guys we got, like MVS. But see, where has Greg No-Show been? That's a good question. You know, he had a beast of a week 1. Greg Rousseau, if you want to get paid, baby, you got to do more than you're doing, because you're not doing enough right now. Greg Rousseau today, like, do we have any sacks? We had 1 sack. Who was the sack? Balen Spector had the sack. Balen Spector had the sack. They ran a game where we didn't have a lot of opportunities for sacks. Lamar only threw the ball, 18 times? Yeah. 18 throws? Like, it's hardly enough of a sample to be able to get him. But see, I agree about Diggs, but with the everybody eats, he'd still be causing drama. He'd still be causing drama even if he did get the ball so much. He was doing that last year. He still got targets. After Dorsey got fired, he still almost got 100 targets. He got like 96 targets. And then Shakir had like 45 or 46 targets, half the amount, and had more yards. Like, by like 100. See, everybody did horrible on our D line. Basically, yeah. Our D line did not play well. Lamar had all day. He did have all day. It was pretty rough. Granted, 18 throws, 34 rushes for them. So it was really hard to figure out which ones they were passing on, and they had to try and stop the run, man. They had to sell out for the run. They couldn't let Derrick Henry keep gashing them, man. Could you imagine if they started playing the pass and Derrick Henry gashed them again, and they started playing the pass again and they got gashed again? They just weren't prepared for this game. They just weren't prepared for this game. Let's be real here. The Buffalo Bills were not prepared for this game. Plain and simple. This is something to learn from. This is something to build off of. And so if you see him again, you can build a game plan based off of this, right? Because there were things that we did that worked later, but they didn't work for very long because circumstances. But they started to do something about it, and then that fell off. So the Ravens earned a well-deserved victory today. They beat the hell out of our Buffalo Bills. See, we need a game changer on the D end, and that's what we're missing. We can't get to the QB. I don't think we even tried to get to the QB like that today. Our 1 sack was a linebacker. Today it was about containing Derrick Henry. We didn't do that good either. We really didn't. We didn't contain Lamar good either. I mean, 6 carries for 54 yards for him. When he decided to hold it himself, yeah. I don't know what the mission for our defensive ends today was to go for sacks, right? Because then you're abandoning the rush lanes to linebackers who are backups and a nickel who's a backup and corners who would be Derek Normand. As soon as they got in Derrick Henry's path, they would go flying. Taylor Rapp is a victim of Derrick Henry having a head of steam and making the tackle. He made the tackle. A couple years ago, we played the Titans, right? Micah Hyde was a victim of Derrick Henry. He went head like, to hell with it. I'm going. I'm hitting him. And it did not go well for Micah Hyde either. But he showed his balls. He showed them. And Micah Hyde got kicked right in him. He got bowled over. See, why aren't we using Curtis Samuel? We are using Curtis Samuel. He's just not getting open, man. He's not getting open. They didn't do their homework. They started strong after halftime and fell off. Yeah, after that Josh Allen big hit, yeah. In games like that, you're probably right. I don't think he needs to take over full time, but in a game where your defensive coordinator, who is very inexperienced, is having a hard time, you take over for him in that game, and then you use it as a teaching moment, right? To build on it, right? Like, hey, you're not doing very good today. You weren't prepared for this one. This is something that you're gonna have to learn from, but I'm gonna take over today, and then we'll build from this, right? This is a teaching moment, and it's still a teaching moment. Like it's still that, and you never know. Maybe Sean did. He needs to rein in that offensive coordinator for running that stupid ass freaking trick play. That's what he needs to do. He needs to reel him in because that was nonsense. It was nonsense. So we got raked. We sure did. We got raked like a sand pit at basic training. That trick play was so dumb. Deion Dawkins pushed him right into Josh. He had to go somewhere, I guess. Jesus. I'm sad because we lost, but we did it. Seemed like we abandoned everything we had going for us offensively. We seemed all over the place. The first game I seen Josh yet feel overwhelmed. Yeah, he did seem overwhelmed in the first half. The second half he didn't, and then that stupid ass trick play, and then he did. Yeah. See, the trick play changed the momentum. I still believe in our Bills. I do too, man. That trick play was the dumbest thing, and I was like, oh my god, like, why would you run that stupid ass play? Like they were running the ball fine on that drive. They were passing the ball fine on that drive. They hit Kincaid. They hit Shakir. Freaking James Cook had a couple nice rushes on that play. And then you do this fucking hocus pocus stuff. Pardon my French. I'm sorry, I don't curse on the show like that. They do this hocus pocus nonsense on the play and like, ooh, look what's over here. Like, no, Josh is over there. Like you're using clear Dixie cups for the ball under the thing. You know, 3 cups, ball under it. Ooh. The cups are clear. We can see where the ball is. We're going over there. That's exactly what they did. And expected to still fool the other team with the stupidest trick. And here we are. So, yeah. So we didn't put our game plan for Cook. I think we did. Well, no, we didn't. No, you're right. You're absolutely correct. We did not. We did not put our game plan into Cook. And we should have because he was doing just fine. He got some short runs a few times. They got him in the backfield. But for the most part, he was busting off, 4s, 5s, 8s, and the occasional 2. But still, man, also not going for it on like 4th and 2. You have Josh Allen. Draw something up. You're in a stupid ass trick play to get us in trouble. Why can't you, draw something up that's a little tricky, but not really a trick play to get us the hell out of it? Like it worked earlier in the game. It's worked all season thus far. 4th and 3, going for it. Do something. Freaking, oh my god. It was hard to watch. It was very hard to watch. Let's see, we need to stick to what was working for us in the first 3 weeks. Yeah, I agree. Take what the defense gives you. Don't panic. And go for it on 4th and short. Yeah. Well, I mean, he did hit the 50 and missed the 48, so yeah, you're not wrong. But still, like, shouldn't have come to that. See, what worries you the most? You think being healthy defensively makes a legitimate difference? It makes some of a difference. Like, it's not nothing. Like, would you rather have Baylon Spector or Terrell Bernard? I'd rather have Terrell Bernard all day, every day. Is Baylon Spector playing well? He's playing pretty good. Is he playing Terrell Bernard good? No. It is an impact, but he's still playing well enough to where I can't complain about it to the level of Some people like, oh my God, he's terrible. Like, he's not terrible. He's just not. He's just not the level of Terrell Bernard. He's not a starting level linebacker. And so it does make a legitimate difference. It's just the game plan wasn't there. And so this is going to happen. Like every now and then, a great coach gets out coached. Look at the Niners this year. Like they've lost 2 games. They were out coached in those games, right? Look at the Vikings right now. They're 4-0 with Sam freaking Darnold. That coach is coaching the hell out of that offense. He is doing the most with a quarterback that people had abandoned, and now is playing to his potential. See? But eventually, the Vikings are going to lose. And in that game, it will likely be that they were outcoached in that game. It's going to happen eventually. It happens to all of them. Andy Reid has been outcoached before. Usually when they lose, the other guy got it over on Andy Reid. They didn't get it over on Mahomes. They didn't get it over on the defense. Generally speaking, they outcoached either Andy Reid. Well, it could be on the defense. It could be on the defensive corner Spags or on Reid. Right? One of those two got outcoached. But if Reid is on point, even if you outcoach Spags, that offense is still coming for your neck. And that's exactly what happened to us last year in the playoffs and every other time we lost in the playoffs. We may have outcoached Spags, but Andy Reid outcoached McDermott, right? It happens to all of them. And so we got our little outcoaching today, right? Or last night, whatever. It's already 12:30 almost. I thought I was going to be off at like 40 minutes. It's 55 minutes, 56 minutes. Yeah. I'm not that concerned, but like it's going to happen to everybody, especially the Dolphins. See, I miss when you used to be that air raid team. I was never on the air raid. Or when we used to be. I'm confused here. If you mean the air raid hour, I was never on the air raid hour, but I do like those guys. Those guys are pretty cool. We were never really an air raid offense. We were a EP system. It's different. Like these guts weren't good today on 4th down. I'm telling you. He should have gone for a 4th down. Hey, let's punt it back to you guys so you guys can run it down our throats again. Thanks. Let's see. Need to regroup and move on to Houston. Houston is going to target Diggs against the Bills next week. They might. Let me look at Diggs' stats. I'm not that confident on Diggs on that team right now. He had a rushing touchdown today. Let's look at Diggs' numbers this year. 25 receptions, 233 yards, 2 touchdowns. He's on par with Shakir. Like, And his 2 touchdown receptions were week 1. It was 2 in 1 week. Today he had 1 rushing, but see, look again. Against Jacksonville, against Indy, 2 touchdown receptions. Today against Jacksonville, 0. Receiving. Rushing touchdowns, he had 1 today. So he's got 3 touchdowns in the year total. I'm not that concerned about Diggs. I'm not that concerned about him. At this point, like he knows our defense to an extent, but I think that Bobby Babish can kind of distinguish what's going on there. Also, our corners are really good. They just look bad today because the front 7, again, the front 6 was terrible. It was pretty rough. All right. Well, guys, that's my show tonight. I hope we all got our emotions and our talking points out, because after the stats and after what we watched, there wasn't really much else to say. It was just basically venting on the BS that we watched. That was our Buffalo Bills today. It was a nonsense game. Should never happen like that, but it did. We had to witness it. It's okay, The Dolphins had to witness it 2 weeks in a row. It's okay. Dude, you're delusional. Ha, 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 ha. Oh. We are 3-1. The season isn't over. It's not. It's early. Very early in the season. I mean, the Ravens were 0. Excuse me. The Ravens were 0-2, and yeah, now they're 2-2. They got one on us. Got one hell of a game on us. So, guys, you have a great evening. I know it's probably not going to be that. Have a good morning. Try. And we'll be back next Sunday. Go Bills.